Hello and welcome to this special interview as AeroTime celebrates pilots all around the world. My name is Michael Jonga, and joining us today as part of our International Pilots Day activities is Nicole Innes. Nicole's journey to the cockpit is one that is far from conventional and brings together unique experiences all tailored to her passion for flight. Today, she is a corporate pilot and a volunteer pilot for the South Africa Red Cross Air Mercy Service. She is also passionate about helping pilots to realize their dreams, and she does so as a flight instructor with over 800 hours under her belt. To those looking to pursue a career in aviation, Nicole says, find your passion along the way and just start. Nicole, thank you for bringing your story to AeroTime today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you for joining us. You often find that aviation has a certain gravity towards it. Once you get sucked in, it's almost difficult to kind of leave its environment. Can you tell us how your journey started and what inspired you to pursue a career in aviation?
Well, that's very nicely put, that aviation does have a certain gravity to it. I started when I was 14 years old. I went to an air show, and that's where I found my passion for aviation. Among all the displays was a 737 doing a fly past, and I was very much intrigued by that. And that's where I started to realize this big world of aviation coming to the forefront. So, and that's then that I was quite determined to pursue an aviation job. And my father was probably the person that encouraged me the most to do that.
You've just mentioned that your father influenced the early stages of your career. What did that support mean to you? And would you have pursued a different career if he hadn't been such an influence?
It's an absolute immense support. I think if he hadn't supported me in that way, I definitely would have chosen another career path, something probably safer, because unfortunately the world of aviation is unknown. So to my parents and other family, it was sort of, well, what's the job security like, and what's the salary like, and they were very sort of unsure of the aviation industry. But my father was very encouraging. And so that helped immensely. If he had said to me, listen, don't go into this, I probably would have listened.
Now, you've mentioned that the aviation world can feel like it's unknown, but what I find fascinating is that your story weaves together a number of career experiences, all which led to your pilot license. Can you tell us about how those events transpired?
Sure. So, as I said, I was quite determined to pursue my career as a pilot. So straight after school, I joined a flight school in Cape Town. My dad was the one that found out all the information, took me through to the school, signed up. But then I quickly realized the difficulties that many pilots face is the funding aspect. So after a short amount of time at the flight school, I realized it's really expensive. So I was able to then start working at the flying school for flight hours. So it started out as a part-time thing. And then a year later, they asked me to come on full-time. And then a year after that, I was then given a management position as person responsible for aircraft. But in that time, I did my private pilot license and was then hourboarding for the commercial pilot license. Soon after I got my commercial pilot license and instrument rating, I then realized with my low time, it was particularly difficult to find my first job. And then an opportunity arose where I could join a drone company. And so at that time, the drone industry was just starting in South Africa. We'd had new regulations sort of on the forefront of implementing that into aviation. So I thought it was a good idea to join them. And it gave me an opportunity to start up a training school for drones and give me an idea of what that industry was like. Then got my drone commercial license, did some work as a survey pilot for a time, At the same time, I was doing my fixed wing instructor rating. So once I then finished my instructor rating, and that had been after a year of working with the drone company, I then decided to go full-time into flight instruction. I'd been doing some flight instruction for about 2 years, and then got the opportunity to volunteer for Air Mercy Services. And thereafter, I went on to corporate flying in West Africa as well.
Now, you've mentioned quite a number of experiences there that you've combined them all together into what sounds to be a very inspiring career. And just looking at it as a whole, would you say that your experiences led you to have a different approach or a perspective to the industry, or a different approach to your journey as a pilot?
Definitely. Because my path has been sort of a very winding road, I got to experience a lot of different things, take a lot of different opportunities, which has given me a different perspective in that I have tried different things and I know what I like, what works, and actually what doesn't work for me. So I'm grateful for all the experiences along the way. And just also my experience as I said, the difficulties with new pilots starting out, I got to experience all of that. So it's definitely given me a lot more perspective, as mentioned.
Well, today we often find that a lot of role models play such a significant part in influencing the careers of future aviators or those in the industry. And in your experience as a flight instructor, you said that you found fulfillment from that experience. Why is that, and what does that mean to you?
So I absolutely love helping people. I love teaching, and so I think when I had got the instructor rating, it definitely played into all of that. Being able to take someone with a passion just like yours and go from zero, knowing absolutely nothing, to at the end of their training, basically just sitting along and they taking you on a flight landing without any input from yourself is an absolutely magical moment. It's such a moment of pride. So I absolutely enjoy that feeling. And then you're sort of involved with the starting of someone's career, and to see them grow is quite fulfilling as well.
Now, just coming back to an experience that you mentioned earlier as a commercial drone pilot, what could you tell us as some of the most common misconceptions that are there about being a drone pilot?
I think being a fixed wing pilot and actually flying, I thought it might be similar when you are a drone pilot, but I soon realized it's definitely not flying. I didn't have any other experience to go with the drone flying, such as cinematography or survey work where I could actually interpret the data. I would just be able to do the flights. So I definitely think the drone is more of a tool for people that go into cinematography or have a passion for it, in which they can just give a more unique experience or add on to make them stand out from the rest of the industry. So definitely not the same as flying, but it definitely is something that's going to become bigger in the future, and there's going to be so many much more technical advancements with regards to drones. But definitely not the same as flying. So if you have a passion for flying, it's not going to be the same.
Now, you've also mentioned that volunteering has been such an important part of your professional life in aviation. What makes that so important for you? And could you tell us some of the work that you do today?
So I work for an aeromedical company, and it's essentially an air ambulance. So we do inter-facility transfers for the public healthcare system in South Africa. And so growing up, my mom and dad were a lot older. I was born quite late, and we had to use the public healthcare system quite a lot. So I know the difficulties faced with that, the challenges. So the opportunity or the services that we provide is sort of world class, if I can put it that way. The medical equipment, the paramedics on board are all extremely good. And so going from my past experience and also being able to interact with the patients and find out their story, I know we're making a huge impact. So when we're flying around at 1 a.m, it's quite good to know that we're making a huge impact on someone's life, whether they're receiving a kidney or transporting a newborn baby in an incubator because they need urgent medical care. Is a very fulfilling feeling. So I really enjoy the volunteering side as well and giving back.
So you've just said something that's quite fascinating. Could you tell us about your most memorable and exciting flying experiences?
So Michael, that's so difficult to pinpoint. I've had so many milestones in my career, so many experiences with instruction, with volunteering, with flying to new places. So I would say my absolute favorite thing is the adventure of flying, is just going somewhere new, packing a picnic basket in the back and just going out and meeting new people. That's my absolute favorite thing to do.
Now, just coming back to your experiences in instruction, you're very passionate about supporting other aviators in achieving their dreams of becoming pilots. How do you envision the industry in 5 years, and what should aspiring pilots be doing to find their place in the industry?
Sure, that's a difficult one. I think that aviation goes through ups and downs, the latest being COVID, and that almost decimated the industry with people being laid off left, right, and center, and sort of something that's never been experienced before. So it's very difficult to say where the industry will be in 5 years. It's difficult to know. However, I think that the industry has recovered faster than we actually expected it to. There is going to be a pilot shortage. So if I can sort of hazard a guess, I would say that there's going to be a major shortage, and it's going to be a good thing for pilots, where there'll be more cadet programs, hopefully, to address that shortage, because it takes so long to train a pilot, at least 2 years. And so therefore, the airlines are going to be playing catch up. So I really hope that is the case, and there's no other sort of world event that's going to stop the progress in aviation.
So we've just peered 5 years in time into what you might think the industry might look like, but I want to bring it back to today. What does it mean to you to be a pilot today?
To me, it means doing a job that I absolutely love. So being happy to get up in the morning and go on a new adventure. It means to me that it's always challenging. You're not always going to get that landing 100% correct. So there's always something to strive for. You are learning so much all the time from many different people with many different experience levels. So yeah, I think I'm just going to say that aviation for me is just absolutely new challenges every day. I'm someone that gets bored quite quickly, so it's always there's new things to learn all the time. So that's what aviation is for me.
And I think one of the most exciting and dynamic things about the industry is that there are always new challenges to face and new ways to approach different and similar scenarios. And with that said, what message or advice would you give to aspiring aviators or young girls and women who want to follow in your footsteps of becoming a pilot?
Gosh, I would say be flexible. Your plans are not always going to work out how you planned. And so you're always going to have to look for a roundabout way of still getting to your goal or objective. I would say that you have to not only sort of go into something that, what can I say? I would say that you have to explore other talents that you maybe have. Look into a course that you want to do or degree that you want to do. And at the end of the day, you can possibly combine it with aviation, combining everything that you enjoy. I get a lot of questions from young ladies in high school saying, well, aren't you away from your family a lot? And I say to that, there's so many facets of aviation, and you can find the exact perfect thing for you. You don't have to be away from your family. You can do freelance work. There's so many different aspects of aviation. So I would say if it's something you're truly passionate about, go for it. There's so many different ways that you can still achieve your dream.
Well, Nicole, that brings us to the end of this interview, but not the end of our time together. At this point, I want to say a big thank you to you for your time and for sharing your thoughts and experiences with us. Now, I want to hand over to Richard Stevenson, the Chief Executive of AeroTime, who wishes to say a few words.
Well, Michael, thank you very much. And Nicole, thank you for joining AeroTime today and for sharing your story about your journey into aviation. I know that many people watching this interview will find it inspiring, and I really hope that those people will be encouraged and inspired to take the next step in their own aviation journey. Here at AeroTime, we are very focused on trying to encourage and support the next generation of people coming into our industry. And we're always looking for those people all around the world who are doing their bit to support our industry and to encourage the next generation of professionals. And for that reason, having looked at your career, having heard your stories, and having listened to you today during this interview, the AeroTime Global Executive Committee would like to appoint you as an AeroTime Aviation Champion. This appointment is made in light of your story to date, and also because of the confidence we have here at AeroTime about all of the great things that you're going to go on to do in your aviation career. We want to support you, but we want to salute you for your efforts to date. I'd now like to read the citation on the certificate. In recognition of their dedication to the aviation industry, and for their efforts in supporting and promoting our people, our industry, and for encouraging the next generation, the AeroTime Global Executive Committee appoints Nicole Innes as an AeroTime Aviation Champion. Nicole, I hope that this appointment will further encourage you to carry on the great work in the aviation world, and I look forward to working with you in the future, as to the whole AeroTime team. Congratulations, and thank you for everything you've done and everything you will continue to do.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. Oh, very unexpected. Thank you very, very much.
Hi again, Nicole.
Hi, thank you so much. That was amazing.
Well, congratulations on your appointment, and thank you for joining AeroTime today and for sharing your story that is out of the ordinary, but definitely blends together a blend of perseverance, commitment, and passion for our industry. And I'm sure our viewers watching will be inspired by that. And that brings us to the end of this AeroTime interview, but stay tuned for more coming soon as AeroTime celebrates pilots all around the world. Thank you for joining us. My name is Michael Jonga, and you've been watching AeroTime. Goodbye.